Hello, my name is Charlie Davenport, and today I'm going to show you an easy way to paint flowers using EcoFlow cover colors. And today, with the coloring the flowers nice and easy, we're going to use 4 colors to paint the entire picture here. We have Cova Colors orange, white, green, and purple. And we're going to start with the flower petals and work our way to the leaves, then onto the stems, and then the background. The reason why we do the background last is that way it'll cover up any of our mistakes. What we're going to start with is what we call a loaded brush of the orange Cova color, and we're going to paint all of the flower petals the base orange. You don't have to be nice and too neat with this, just stay within the borders of the petals. And unlike painting on paper or canvas, leather has 3-dimension form to it once you've tooled it, so make sure you get the sides of the petals. Someone takes closer inspection of your work, they'll see the bare leather on the sides if you're not careful. And work the paint down into the swivel knife cuts. Still okay. Didn't know if I was moving it too much for you.
That's all right. I got the mouse.
I've completed painting the flower petals orange, just the basic orange out of the bottle. What I've done is taken some of the orange, put it in this tray here, added just a little bit of the purple to get my shading color. And what we want to keep in mind is the light comes from one direction, the shadow will be on the other. For this exercise, we'll have the light coming in this direction here, so we'll have the shadow right in here. Slightly paint it in there, and you can lighten up on the pressure of the brush and it'll just fade out the shadow, and we'll come in between the petals and right back in here. As you can see, I'm done with the shading. What I did additionally was added a little bit more purple to the shadow mixture that we had and added it into the deeper recesses of the petals to give a greater shadow value. Did it on the opposite side, or where our light is coming from, in the center of the flowers here, right in along into here, to give a greater sense of depth. Now what we're going to do is do our highlights. We'll add some white to our orange. What I've done here is I've taken some orange and added a little bit of white to it, and also on this one just a little bit of white and a little more white and just a little bit of orange in this container, and we'll work our way to the light. The highlights, and we'll start adding it on the sides that are catching the light. I've put down the first value of highlights, and now I'm coming back with the real light orange, and we're coming back with the light highlight. Drew it on the very edges of the flower petals where the light's coming from this way. I put some right there on the center of the flower. And we're doing it just on the edge. Light's coming from there, so probably a little bit right there. And one thing that helps, especially when you're painting something that's been tooled, if it's raised up pretty high, it'll probably catch light coming from that way. So we'll just treat it that way. Just want to get a little bit more light into here. Now we have completed the flowers. We have our base color of orange. We've come back in with 2 values of the shading, and we've come back after that and added 2 values of highlights to give greater depth in our flowers. Nice and easy, just using 3 colors. Now that we've finished with the flowers, we're going to continue on with the leaves and stems using the same process we did the flowers. I'm going to put down a base coat of just plain green straight from the bottle, and then we'll come back in with the shadows and highlights after that. What I've done with the palette now for the different values for the leaves and stems, I've poured straight purple, green, and white of the Cova color, and I've mixed a little bit of purple with the green here to get a shade, added a lot more purple to get a darker shadow, come back and added a little bit of white with the green, and then a lot of white with the green. And what we'll do is we'll start adding the shadows first, and then we'll come back and add the highlights. We'll start with the lighter shadow, but it's just a little bit of purple mixed in with the green. And remember, our light's coming from this direction, so our shadows will be on this side. Now we'll go in with the darker shadow color. A lot of purple mixed in with the green. Give it nice dark shadow line. Go in the areas that you put the darker, the first shadow value, but I'm only going to cover about half the area that we did before. Make these areas stand out. Okay, we have all our shadows done. So now we'll work on our highlights. And get the green with just a little bit of white added to it. And we'll come back here and just hit the edges where the light should be hitting it. Now we'll move on to the really light green. And this, you'll really just want to put it on the tips of the leaves. And there you go.